San Francisco, where the Dodgers and Giants have enjoyed some of the nicest weather you will ever find at Oracle Park. Splitting the first two games, Dodgers now going for the series win as we say welcome inside. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, and as always, Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. Dodgers haven't dropped a series since the last time they were here, end of April, beginning of May, trying to run that unbeaten streak in series to 11 today.
Strong starting pitching, unbelievable explosive offense that gets it done late in the game, and then when you're ahead, Kenley Jansen at the end sealing victories that you have to get done.
Really good pitching matchup for the final game of this series. You've got one of the faces of this rivalry over the last decade or so against one of the faces currently, and you figure moving forward.
Yeah, Buehler learning to pitch and pitched outstanding in his last outing, and Bumgarner changing his repertoire, becoming more of a breaking ball pitcher.
Walker Buehler, Madison, Bumgarner, the Dodgers and the Giants on a perfect day from San Francisco. We've got first pitch coming up after this. Finale. We go down to Alana.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. A beautiful day here and a beautiful day for Walker Buehler to repeat what he did on Monday against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dave Roberts said that he's no longer searching after an abbreviated spring training. He said that he's also synced up the upper half of the body to the lower half of the body, and he feels his direction to the plate is exactly where he needs to be to allow him to have confidence and conviction in what he's throwing, guys.
All right, Alana, and he'll face off, of course, with Madison Bumgarner and the San Francisco Giants under these light blue skies today with a decent crowd filing in. And here's the lineup that Bumgarner will see with Kike Hernandez, his arch nemesis, at the top of it. And Max Muncy at first base. Turner hits third, plays third. Dave Roberts had said he may get him a day in this weekend series, but instead Turner starting all three while he nurses that hamstring. Bellinger, Taylor, and Seager through the heart of the lineup with Kyle Garlick making his first career Major League start one day after he got his first career Major League hit. Barnes does the catching for Walker Buehler. For Madison Bumgarner, the ERA is the worst that it's been at 4.05, although he's been better lately. 3 consecutive quality starts after he held the Mets to 3 runs over 6 innings on Tuesday. We mentioned, though, the guy at the top of the lineup for the Dodgers has owned him like nobody else in baseball, and Stats with Lowe's shows you those numbers.
Kike Hernandez is really good at hitting his fastball, and he has a tendency, even when he throws the off-speed stuff, to figure out a way to catch up to that, and you can see it in that average and the damage.
Giants winning game 1 2-1 on Friday night. Dodgers coming back with a 7-2 win yesterday. Giants looking for their first home series win since the last time they hosted the Dodgers, which was end of April, beginning of May. They've got the second worst record in the National League at 26-37. Dodgers have the best record in the league by 6.5 games at 44-21. Off we go with a fastball away. It's 1-0 on Hernandez. And maybe Bumgarner just what the doctor ordered for Kike, who is 0 for 9 with 4 Ks in this series so far. Ahead of Bumgarner here, 2-0.
Pitching him carefully already, but upset with the strike zone out there on the mound. Already pacing and staring in.
And already upsetting Will Little. And that, I think that barking and that intimidation might have just bought him that strike.
Bumgarner's used to getting strikes called, especially on the first pitch. The best in the big leagues at throwing that first pitch strike.
A pop fly into short right field. Kevin Pillar can't find it, and now does and makes the catch. And for a moment there for Madison Bumgarner, that had to be a helpless, horrible feeling to open his day. But in the bright sunshine, Pillar is able to track it. Wow, you better watch it, huh?
Didn't like the way he was talked to. Bruce Bochy now distracting.
And Will Little saying he's coming after me. After we saw a clinic yesterday in composure from Andy Fletcher, who is the third base umpire today, but Jeff Samardzija basically begged to get thrown out of that game, and Fletcher did a great job to not toss him. One gone, Max Muncy taking a ball. Closed captioning today brought to you by Howard's Appliances. Howard's your appliance specialist. Muncy with a 2-walk game yesterday, extending his on-base streak to 19 games. And he is one of the left-handed hitters in the lineup against Bumgarner today, one of just 3. He has better numbers against left-handed pitchers than he does righties. On a 2-0. That's a strike, 2-1.
Bumgarner's mechanics, as we look at the breakdown of lefty righties, but his mechanics in his arm are probably at an all-time high since coming back from his injury. And so we're seeing a little bit more velocity out of him.
Muncy hits this ball to deep right field. Forget about it. Muncy with a splash hit. And some words for Bumgarner as he rounds the bases with his 13th home run of the season. And a 1-0 first inning lead. Mad Max with a few more words for Mad Bum.
The Dodger-Giant rivalry is alive. He turns on this heater, 92 and up, and I don't know what Bumgarner got mad at. That's about 4 or 5 steps to walk the hitter when they know that.
Deep right field.
They know it's gone like that. They're not going to run out of the box.
Oh, that thing was hit so far. Don't look at me.
Has Max Muncy become the new Yasiel Puig?
There's something I never thought we'd see coming.
I never knew that would happen. Wow, that was fun.
You hit it that far, you can take a peek at it.
I just love emotions in baseball, in sports. I love the fans are reacting in a way that they want to win so bad and they want their team, and it's great when the players show that too. It doesn't have to come to blows, but it can come to showing your emotions.
Ball one on Justin Turner. And you know what? You love it on both sides.
Yeah.
Part of what makes this rivalry great, part of what makes Madison Bumgarner great is how easily he's wrinkled and how quickly he is willing to come after a guy like that. It's 1-1 on Turner. And then from Muncy's standpoint, it's exciting to watch him round the bases, not one bit intimidated from a very intimidating guy. Love it from both sides. Turner with a ground ball to short. There's Brandon Crawford. And there is out number 2.
3-time world champion on the mound, all-star. A guy who's gone toe-to-toe with the Dodgers for years. His best outings are against the Dodgers. No matter where he is in his career and what he's doing, when he faces the Dodgers, he's at his best.
34th start against LA. Could be his last. In the Giants uniform. Now it's Bellinger slicing one off the end of the bat into short left field. Yastrzemski comes on to catch it and brings it into this very eventful top of the first inning, which includes a Max Muncy home run against Madison Bumgarner. His second career splash hit. This one with a little more flavor as he rounds the bases, and the Dodgers lead at 1-0. Against Madison Bumgarner with that home run. And the Dodgers lead at 1-0 as the Giants come to bat with his starting lineup today. Joe Panik will lead it off for him, then Yastrzemski and Longoria. Sandoval, Vogt, Pilar, Brandon Crawford, and Steven Duggar. Against Walker Buehler, trying to build off of his best start of the season. He was perfect into the 5th against Arizona on Monday. Finished off that game by going 8 innings, got a season-high 11 Ks, and only gave up 2 hits. Home of the 1-0. Panik down the line, foul. 1-1.
I think Walker Buehler has finally hit his stride. His feel with all the different pitches. He's past the I'm really strong phase and overusing the fastball, and I think now he is settling into the season, and with his elite ability, settling in is dangerous for the league.
Panik down the line to left. Garlick moving over. Won't get there. And one start after he's perfect into the 5th inning. The leadoff man doubles.
You see this with the new theories on high fastballs. Hitters that can get on top of it have a little better idea. And Panik is not a typical lefty where it's all the low pitches what he hammers. He's able to get on top of that high fastball and just kind of place it down the line.
So the Giants with a quick opportunity here. And Mike Yastrzemski, Walker Buehler's old Vanderbilt teammate. A fastball to the knees and strike one. Yastrzemski's senior season at Vandy 2013 was Walker's freshman year. Yastrzemski opened his career in the Baltimore organization, acquired in a trade this spring, and made his major league debut after 7 minor league seasons. That's foul, and it's 0-2. And yes, he is the grandson of the great Hall of Famer, former Triple Crown winner Carl Yastrzemski.
Pretty good guy to have as a hitting coach when you're growing up.
He makes quick work of his old teammate with a fastball at 96, one gone. Now the Giants yesterday had their opportunities, but went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position and stranded a season high 11. Opportunity for Bruce Bochy's team here in the first inning to start to write a new chapter on those struggles. But a strikeout of Yastrzemski, and now one gone for Longoria. Cutter for a strike.
Giants have really struggled with strong velocity out of starting pitchers, out of anybody. 95 plus. They have a very low batting average, below 200. And Buehler with more than elite stuff, better than most 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. He's going to be higher than that.
Like that. His third in the majors, averaging just a touch under 97.
So if they're struggling with 95 and 96, think if you get a guy that goes 97 to 99 and then is starting to use his off-speed stuff more.
Sticking with the fastball here, one of the things that you like most about his outing on Monday, not just the fact that he wasn't so fastball reliant, but it was that he took from the fastball and distributed it to the other pitches pretty much evenly.
Yeah, the cutter, slider, the curveball, a little bit of the changeup, all got about a 2 to 3% rise, and that all came away from the fastball, so he was a mystery.
Longoria on a line to Garlick in left. He's got it. 2 gone.
Couple of hard hit balls and a strikeout in between. He's got a chance to strand that runner at second.
With Pablo Sandoval coming up. Fan favorite still. Having his best season since his All-Star seasons in 2010 and 11. It's been almost exclusively in a pinch hitting role, but he gets an opportunity to start at first today with Brandon Belt coming down with a stomach bug.
From the toes to the nose, he will be swinging.
And he had to get a fastball right down the pipe.
We've seen him turn around fastballs that are chin high right here, one right down the middle. We'll just call that belly high.
Ball and a strike. To be fair, they'd be belly high on anybody that's that tall.
Exactly. That's what I was referring to.
Right. Part of the charm of Pablo Sandoval.
We have seen all shapes and sizes really succeed at the big league level. But the modern body, the fully trained body, we see more often now. I played with Sid Fernandez. I mean, his nickname was Pineapple. And he was kind of the shape of a pineapple. But he needed his weight and his size to leverage his fastball. And Pablo is happiest and thinks he plays at his best when he's a few pounds heavier than what you would think a professional athlete should carry. And I don't think it's any rip on him. He says, this is the way I want to feel and look, and this is when I feel like I'm at my best.
Because he did cut weight.
He did, and he went right down in the tank.
You're right. Those years in Boston, which just did not work out. Buehler trying to bully his way out of this first inning jam. His 2-2 is upstairs at 98, and the count is full. Stephen Vogt waits on deck with the Dodgers in front 1-0 on Max Muncy's first inning homer. Panik led off the inning with a double. Buehler delivers a ball that's bounced sharply to short. Seager picks it up and throws Sandoval out. Opponents against Walker Buehler now 1 for their last 30 with runners in scoring position.
Very rarely. This might be the first.
Chris Taylor to lead off this second. He flies one to right. That'll send Pilar on the move to the corner. And he makes a fantastic play up against the wall. Kevin Pilar, who's only played for the Giants for a couple of months and has only played right field for a couple of months in his career, in an uncomfortable phone booth over there, making a great play.
Yeah, you are not only creeping up on the wall, you're creeping up on the side wall too, and you're running on a warning track that you're not sure how wide it is because you're running on an angle. So it's not your typical 3.5 steps and jump. It's more like 5 or 6 steps and you're going to hit the pole.
Here is the red hot Corey Seager taking ball 1. 3 times yesterday the Giants walked Cody Bellinger intentionally to get to Corey Seager, and he followed all 3 of those walks with hits. He had his first 4-hit game of the year. He bounces this one gently left side. Longoria throws him out. Lineup is already one of the best in baseball, but you had Corey Seager into that, doing what he's done when he's been healthy throughout his career, and it's that much scarier.
Corey Seager fully back and executing at the level that we're used to with him. He then rivals Cody Bellinger as the best hitter on the team, Justin Turner as the best hitter on the team. So all of a sudden you have 3 guys that legitimately, mentally could be in that race with that kind of ability.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Kyle Garlick, who takes ball 1. Had his first career hit yesterday. It sparked a rally late in that game. And follows it up with his first career major league start. He's in left today. It was a busy first inning in left. He tracked down leadoff double in the corner, then made a nice play on a Longoria liner.
Sleeveless Madison Bumgarner. He does that even when it's chilly here. But today, for sure, no sleeves.
A pop-up at first, Sandoval. Able to track it down. A 7-pitch second inning for Madison Bumgarner. 1-0 to the last of the second. His home run landed somewhat Coors Light boat. Bottom of the second, 1-0 on that home run. And our Coors Light timeless moment. April 28, 2018, in this ballpark, Walker Buehler got his first career win as a starting pitcher. He picked up a win in relief in his first month in the majors before that. He got his first win as a starter here against the rival Giants. And he starts Stephen Vogt with a cutter for strike 1. Second time facing San Francisco this season. April 30th, gave up 3 runs over 5 1/3, got the win. 6-1 on the year. Facing the guy starting at catcher with Buster Posey on the injured list. Veteran journeyman Stephen Vogt.
15 and 19 fastballs from Walker Buehler, a few cutters. That last pitch was probably a slider. Establishing the fastball, but I would hope and I think that he will bring along the secondary stuff after the first time through the lineup.
His second K. There is the slider, dipping it under the swing. 1 away in the second.
I think Walker is going to be like Clayton Kershaw, where you see the characteristics on the slider improve as the velocity decreases. Change of speed's a little different than the fastball and the cutter, and then also a little bit more depth as far as the break.
Kevin Pillar fouls the first one back. Checked first, no swing, 1-1. Yeah, we see from Madison Bumgarner the emotion today and the emotions that we've seen throughout the years, not just against the Dodgers, but against anybody that he's facing. Walker Buehler's got a little bit of that in him. Lifted to right. Cody Bellinger will settle under it. 2 up, 2 down in the second. Walker, he's pretty well put together now. He's worked hard to add some mass and obviously grown as he's reached his mid-20s. But growing up, he was always one of the smaller kids. And even when he got to Vanderbilt, he was only about 150 pounds. So he's admitted that he may have a little bit of Napoleon syndrome built in there. And has said, I don't know if I'm ever going to be the most humble guy. But that's his way of trying to bring energy. That's who he is. That's how he competes. Here he comes to Brandon Crawford. And Crawford goes the other way to the line drive base hit. Two out, man at first. Here's Steven Duggar. Bottom of the zone, strike one. We saw in Walker's last start some of that emotion, and he told Omar Vargas, don't look at me, go back to the dugout. And said after the game, I have absolutely nothing against him. Just the heat of the moment.
After that game we saw on the bench, you called it a veteran sandwich. Rich Hill on one side and Clayton on the other. I think he learned a little bit of what emotions you can show on the mound from both those guys. A little disgust if you miss your target like Clayton, and a little bit of as much energy as you want to bring and say it out loud from Rich Hill.
Runner takes off, throw from Barnes, sails, and a stolen bag for Brandon Crawford.
Decent jump there at first. I think Austin Barnes thinks he should have had him, and you see when the ball goes by second base in the air that it would have been in time. Crawford would have been just starting his slide. So Barnes was back there kicking the dirt, a little upset with himself with the accuracy of that throw or lack thereof.
So another runners in scoring position opportunity for the Giants, where they have struggled mightily. 3 balls and 1 strike on Duggar. They are 1 for their last 14 over the last 2 games.
Dodgers had 4 hits with runners in scoring position just yesterday.
3 balls, 1 strike on the 8-hitter, Steven Duggar. Here comes Buehler with ball 4, first walk of the day. It's becoming more and more rare for him. Last 7 starts, Walker Buehler's strikeout to walk ratio is 51-4.
It's like Ryu.
Right. It's throughout the staff.
Well, this is a great staff for, especially the starting staff. They can punch you out and they will not walk you.
As you know, Madison Bumgarner, not your typical hitting pitcher, very good as a hitter. 2 on and 2 out. First one from Buehler is a fastball to the knees and strike 1.
Shaking his head about the strike call. Doesn't matter if he's throwing or hitting, he's upset with Will Little behind the plate.
First curveball of the day from Walker Buehler goes to Madison Bumgarner.
You know, a lot of times you use your curveball against the pitcher to get it ready for the second time around the order. You haven't thrown it much the first time around. That was supposed to be an out pitch, not getting it ready for the future. And it buckled his knees. Do not think you could just sneak high cheese by him. He's a strong man.
Went high enough where would have been a chase and a miss. Ball 1. The lone home run came against the Dodgers this year. One of the 18 in his career. Here on a 1-2. A breaking ball gets him swinging. So he doubles up on it in this at-bat. And again, the Giants leave a couple men on base. Here's baseball on Sportplay is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry into a Southern California BMW center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com for more details. Dodgers 1, Giants nothing. Top 3 here in the series rubber match on a gorgeous day in San Francisco. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, and Alano Rizzo. And Austin Barnes to lead off this 3rd inning against Madison Bumgarner. Ball 1. He throws strike 1 more than any pitcher in baseball, but he's only gotten strike 1 on 2 of the first 8 hitters today.
And it was by hundredths of a percent. So the guy in second's probably there now.
And here to center field, caught by Duggar.
And the guy in second is Kenta Maeda. So Bumgarner might have slipped to number 2 with the performance so far. He's going to have to throw a lot of first pitch strikes to get back on top.
Kenta popping champagne back in the clubhouse.
Oh, for sure. He's probably been studying the game right here.
Just took over the first pitch strike percentage lead, and the party started.
Polishing the crown.
Buehler. A home run in St. Louis remains his only hit thus far. Think he'd take any added satisfaction out of getting one against Madison Bumgarner?
Anytime you're going against a guy that competes the way Mad Bum does, anytime you have a guy that shows his emotions on the field, hitter or pitcher, it always gets a little bit more personal and a little bit more satisfying when you do something good.
Now Bumgarner returns the favor, sitting him down looking, 2 gone. Dodgers only 1 base runner once through the order. It was Muncy's homer. And now there's second look at Bumgarner. Now the Dodgers will see the Giants again in a little more than a week. So there is a good chance, that's 4-game series, there is a good chance that they'll get one more look at Bumgarner. But you can say with almost certainty that they won't see him again in a Giants uniform. Hernandez looks at a strike. That is after that start.
His trade value is going up because his velocity is going up, and he increases the differential between his off-speed stuff and his fastball, and shows that he could pitch when it was down there around 90 and he was recovering. So he's learned about the soft stuff side and now is regaining some of his mechanics and his velocity. That's a very strong combination for a trade target.
When you combine that with a postseason pedigree.
Exactly. No meltdown there. Guy who's going to come in and really impact your clubhouse, impact your whole pitching staff, and maybe impact the outcome of your season.
His 2014 postseason performance, one of the single greatest postseason performances ever. 52 2/3 innings, and he gave up 6 runs total. It's 2-2 on Hernandez. Complete game shutout in the wild card game against Pittsburgh. 7 2/3 shutout innings in Game 1 of the NLCS, and then in the World Series, 1 run over 7 innings in Game 1. Complete game shutout in Game 5, and then 5 scoreless relief innings on 2 days rest to finish off Game 7. Kike Hernandez gets him again with an opposite field base hit. Shaking his head and now having to face Muncy again. We look at the top tier play brought to you by Arco. Home run into the water, and as exciting as the home run was, the interaction as he rounded the bases, I think, even better.
Sure was. It really overshadowed how far Muncy hit that ball. The exchange between the two of them, and Will Little, the home plate umpire, got involved because he was already a target of Bumgarner as far as the strike zone prior to that at bat with Muncy.
Upstairs with a cutter and ball 1. You know, Max, out of a football hotbed in Texas, played football as a linebacker and a running back. I bet he was a fantastic football player. It's on the corner, and it's 1-1. His football career ended because of some injuries and then the blossoming of his baseball career. But when you combine his kind of raw strength, sneaky athleticism, and fire, gosh, tailor-made Texas linebacker. Ahead 2-1.
I'm glad he gave up football. I'm not glad he got hurt. I'm glad he gave it up because we get to enjoy him on the baseball field, and I think his body's going to feel a lot better when he's 60 years old.
A 2-1 pitch. Taken down and away, ball 3.
Madison running that cutter off the edge of the plate. In some ways, watching that one right there, I would grade that a slider. It's the interesting thing about grading his pitches. He changes the shape and form of them, the velocity of them, and what does he call them? Does he call them sliders? Does he call them cutters?
He calls it a slider, but there are 2 distinct shapes to it, right? Depending on where it is. The higher the pitch is, the more cutter-like it is. Like that to make it 3-2.
And the lower, he actually can give it a little tilt. So this is the up one, and the hand's more behind the ball, behind and on the left side of the baseball, so it creates that spin that comes across.
And while he intentionally obviously changes the location, he doesn't change anything with his grip to turn it from a slider to a cutter, or vice versa. There goes the runner with a 3-2, and Muncy hits it on the ground to Joe Panik at second. That's that for the Dodgers in the 3rd.
MLB All-Star Ballot is due this year. After the first round of voting, the top 3 players of each position will advance to a special election to determine the All-Star starters. Vote daily at Dodgers.com/vote or by searching your favorite Dodgers on Google.
Strike 1 on Joe Panik. Doubled against Buehler to start the game. It's one of the 2 hits against him through 2 innings. And after Walker Buehler distributed more non-forcing fastballs his last time out, he's gone back to living with that pitch, at least the first time through the order. But as you often talk about, what does it look like the next time through?
You know what? We have seen him throw more breaking stuff and off-speed stuff when he's in a jam. With nobody on in the windup.
That's cue shot. Little spinner to Seager. Wow.
You get a lot of fastballs right there, using the curveball to kind of end that at bat with a weakly hit ball. But we have seen when runners get in scoring positions and all of a sudden the game might be on the line, he is mixing his pitch as well.
Opponents are now 1 for 31 over the last handful of starts against Walker Buehler with runners in scoring position. Yastrzemski.
This first pitch here to Yastrzemski, rarely is it a breaking ball.
Yep, pop up. Turner giving it a look. He's got room.
The fewest off-speed pitches in the big leagues by any starting pitcher, Walker Buehler. Only at 11% of the time will he throw you something other than his fastball. So people are attacking him, like Clayton Kershaw, like our whole staff, really. They like to attack our pitchers on the first pitch. They all have tendencies to throw strikes early in the count on that first pitch, and they all have tendencies to throw it with a certain pitch.
That is a fastball for a strike on Longoria. When opponents put one of the first two pitches in play against him, they're hitting 388. After that, they're hitting 196. That's a different discussion there. That's a breaking ball for a strike, 0-2. So you understand why they go after the Dodger pitchers early in the count. Find themselves now 2 pitches into the at-bat and an 0-2 hole. Good luck. Not on 3 pitches. He gets Longoria swinging. A 7-pitch third for Walker Buehler. Brought to you by Fair. Get a car on your phone. Now by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Test drive one today during the Jeep Spring Sales Event. Dodgers 1, Giants nothing to the middle innings here in San Francisco. They're having a great weekend. Justin Turner to lead this inning off against Madison Bumgarner. Turner hitting .435 over his last 13 games. We go back even farther than that. He's been one of the best hitters in the National League since late April. Which is no surprise. He's kind of been the guy the Dodgers have seen wearing number 10 since they acquired him. Pulls it sharply to the left side. Another base hit for Turner, who is now 5 of 9 in this series.
Well, it used to be when Justin goes, the Dodgers go. And we waited for him last year to get healthy before the Dodgers took off. But now, with Corey Seager back, with Cody Bellinger doing what he's doing, it's a different team. But Justin is still doing what he normally does.
Leadoff man aboard. Here's Bellinger. And getting walked intentionally 3 times yesterday. It was the second time that that's happened. Actually, the Giants did it to him when he was a rookie. Joins Mike Scioscia as the only guys in franchise history to get walked 3 times intentionally, multiple times.
He's the only one to get it done when he's hitting the middle of the order. Scioscia got that done when he was hitting 8th and the pitcher behind him. And a lot of pitchers were going deeper into the game then, so even in the 3rd at bat, it was still the pitcher.
And of course, comes in a ballpark where the thing that pops right to mind is Barry Bonds and all the intentional walks that he received throughout his career. 688 of them. 3-0 on Bellinger. That's unbelievable. 688 career intentional walks. That included a season where he had 120. That's a strike, 3-1. I think that is right up there with your scoreless inning streak as an unbreakable record. The next highest on the list is Albert Pujols at 310 intentional walks. Less than a half of Bond's career total. On a 3-1, Bellinger bounces one that could be 2. Panic, Crawford, double play.
Surprising, Cody Bellinger on a 3-hopper to second base. He didn't really bust it. I hope he's healthy. And he really just jogged down the baseline and watched this double play kind of get turned in front of him. We know Justin Turner has the green light on just running at an effort level to protect his hamstring, and I'm hoping with this effort level from Cody that he has that same green light to kind of just stride it out if he's dealing with something. There does seem to be a little hits in his giddy up, but that was an odd effort from a guy that we've seen really run hard every time.
And one of the things that has set him apart is his speed. He's the fastest in baseball home to first. That's upstairs and ball one on Chris Taylor. How many infield hits have we seen him get with all-out effort, all-out speed?
I got to believe there's a small issue there. And I don't mean an issue on lack of hustle. I mean an issue on something that they're protecting. You're talking about one of the fastest players in baseball who should be really difficult from the left side to double up.
Especially when they're shifted around like that.
Those are 2 long throws.
2-1 on Taylor. Taylor flied out his first time. Really good play by Kevin Pillar in the right field corner. And now 1 for his last 19 against Madison Bumgarner. That's not 1 for his last. That's career 1 for 19. Getting the start today out of the 5 spot and in center field. Right-handers have been way better against Bumgarner this year. On a 2-2. Dropped down a little bit, missed up with a fastball. Full count.
You know, we talk about Matt Bum earlier, like trade bait, kind of washed up as a Giant, but he's only 29 years old.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You know,
any of the guys that debut extra early, it's always amazing to see the ages as the career goes on. Taylor down swinging here. We go to the bottom of the 4th with the Dodgers up 1-0.
Friday, the Dodgers face the Dodger Stadium. Stay after the game for Friday night fireworks themed to Dad Rock, presented by Denny's. Some conditions apply. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Can't wait for Dad Rock. Can't wait for the Cubs to come in. Going 5 of 6. Back atop the Central as Pablo Sandoval takes a strike from Walker Buehler. You know, these last few years, you always circle Cubs-Dodgers, and this one, no different. Teams playing well. 2 of the top records in the league. It's a little bit outside, and it's 1-1. And you get 4 games this time around. One and 2. Be a good measuring stick for the Dodgers, who have seemingly steamrolled everybody since they last faced the Cubs.
Cubs with a slow start, but when we were in Chicago, we started to analyze with the eye test and some of the numbers that they were about to get hot, and they did.
Sandoval able to lay off ball 2.
Now Craig Kimbrell there?
Not yet, but in the team.
On the roster.
Yep.
not active.
A few weeks, it sounds like, before they have Kimbrell.
That really surprised me.
Really? That is a nice play at first by Muncy. Why so?
Well, if I was Craig Kimbrell and I was still negotiating with teams and working to get a job, and I knew it would probably break loose as soon as the draft was over, I'm sure my agent, were telling me, and everybody around me, you just look at the landscape, I would have been ramping up.
Oh, the surprising part you mean is that he's not ready.
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he would be ready in like 5 days.
Yeah, because Dallas Keuchel in Atlanta immediately placed into a rehab, or not a rehab, but a minor league start to get him ready to go for the majors. Stephen Vogt, ball 1.
Yeah, I would have been throwing against college hitters. I would have been timing up my side works with a few days after the draft. I'm going to be have a job and maybe a couple times facing hitters, and I'm ready as a short reliever.
Vogt hits it foul.
And I would rather have Craig Kimbrell pitching in the 5th in a blowout, getting ready to be my closer, than in some minor league rehab. Because what if all of a sudden he hits his stride like in 1 or 2 batters, and you go, oh, next outing I can move him right to closer. I can move him right to the 8th inning.
No, it's a great point. I thought you meant you were surprised he went to the Cubs.
No.
Yeah, that gets you. 1-2. Addresses a very clear weakness for the Cubs, though, that being the bullpen. Now, Brandon Morrow, former Dodger, has just not been able to get healthy. Vogt digs it out and serves it foul again. You know, the West, really the only division in the National League that's not super interesting at this point. You got the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals, and even the Pirates, really, all right there. And in the East, Philadelphia and Atlanta kind of separating themselves from the pack. Vogt, it's a fly ball towards Triple's alley where Cody Bellinger waits and puts it away 2 gone. Dodgers, though, with a 10-game lead over the Colorado Rockies. Rockies have been the second-best team in baseball since week 2 of the season, but they were so bad to start. It's a giant hole they're trying to dig out of. Two out, and here's Pilar. Going to see a bunch of the Rockies over the coming weeks. Saw him on that first road trip of the year, but not since. Pilar off the end of the bat, down the line for a hit. He's got good speed, but he knows Bellinger's got a good arm. Hangs on with a 2-out single.
Rare cut fastball on the first pitch from Walker Buehler. Almost had him fooled, but the end of the bat found a way to get a hit out of this one. Not hit that hard, but the bat was definitely on the correct plane to square that one up. Just didn't get the barrel completely.
So it's Crawford with 2 out. There's one of the 3 Giants hits today. Opposite field line drive single. Slider for strike 1.
You know, last thought on the Keiko Kimbrell stuff?
Yeah.
Free agents might have found a new net that when they're pushing their negotiations. Well, worst is I'm going to take a half a year off, wait for the draft, and then I'll sign in June. Where before I would be panicked if you were a free agent, like I need to sign. The season's about to start. So if guys want to look at that, and you know, we've seen a 4-man outfield now. We've seen some radical shifting where you can't even turn a double play, and we might see more free agents hold out until June of the next year.
That's not good.
No, it's not. But both sides always adjust back, and right now the primary adjustments have been defense and data and shifting, and also maybe now an adjustment with the free agents. I'd hate to have marquee players like that, a half a dozen of them or 10 of them, wait until June.
0-2 on Crawford.
But it's kind of a new class of players. You know, there's the guys that are rookies. Then there's the guys with under 2 years of experience or 3 and can't go to arbitration. Then there's free agents. Then there's aging free agents that all of a sudden think they have a value, but maybe organizations, general managers don't. That might be a new class of player that is entering a new way of negotiating.
There goes Pilar on a bouncing ball right to the bag. Muncy or Turner will throw over to get him and end the inning. 1-0 after 4.
Somebody with a beard got it.
Right. Whatever.
Here at the top of the inning, Corey Seager set to lead off the inning for Los Angeles, and although he's 0 for 1 today, Corey Seager came into the game on a 6-game hitting streak. He's 12 for his last 26, and I asked Dave Roberts earlier today what he's been seeing from Corey over the last couple of weeks, and he said, you know what, he's just seeing the ball a lot better. He's been in the zone for quite some time, but before, when he was in the zone, he was either striking out or hitting a foul ball. Now he's in that zone. He's getting the ball to the grass. He isn't missing missing as much. Corey Seager guys yesterday after Cody Bellinger intentionally walked 3 times in the game. A career high 4 hits. He paced the Dodgers offense with 4 RBIs. He's really getting into a groove.
No question about it, Alana. Last 10 games, 11 extra base hits. Couple North Carolina guys facing off. And a bullet off of the glove of Panic. Seager will hang on with a leadoff, you would assume, hit. It's a couple balls in this series the normally sure-handed Joe Panic would probably tell you he should have had. And it is a hit.
Big leaguers have a high bar for what they should do because they've all made these difficult plays. Official scorers take that into mind when they're grading those.
Leadoff man on, and here's Kyle Garlick. That catches the corner. It's 0-1.
It's always a little harder for those line drives with infielders because in day games you've got more white shirts, more t-shirts in this hot day here in San Francisco, which is a rare. Instead of like dark sweaters, wearing their San Francisco sweaters, a little easier to see the ball.
Maybe I'm crazy, but is this a little bit more of a glary ballpark than others during the day?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
I mean, we've seen a lot of vision issues today, especially on the ball with the way the sky is today, with kind of the really smattering of clouds. But you mix it in with those white clouds and that light blue sky, hard to see the ball. If you had a whiteout at the ballpark, you'd only do it when your team was on offense.
Yeah, we'd have to change shirts between innings.
Yeah. It'd be a shirt where it's white on the front and black on the back, and you just
like it.
Reverse it.
Or turn around.
Yeah, or everybody don't watch the game.
Yeah. Get your phones out. That is pop foul by the old Chino Hills star, Kyle Garlick. Graduated from there in 2010. Started his college career at Oregon, then transferred to Cal Poly Pomona, and has made it to the majors as a 28th round draft pick.
That means he was drafted because an organization just needed another catcher in rookie ball or something.
Inside corner to get him looking. 1 out.
Right there, that cutter, but that's his fastball at 93, but it seems like it has a little cutting action because of the low arm angle, kind of cross-firing it.
1 on 1 out for Austin Barnes. One ball, no strikes. Barnes 0 for 4 in his return from the injured list this weekend. Down the line, but just foul. Hey, you know what I saw today? It's the anniversary of Bobby Valentine going back down into the dugout in disguise. What I didn't know is that you were the guy that gave him the idea.
Maybe I did.
Just to give some perspective on that. That's old Mets manager Bobby Valentine got thrown out of a game, put on a disguise, and went back into the dugout to watch the rest of the game. And you were back in the clubhouse and gave him the idea.
I just went back down to calm the skipper down, and we really didn't believe he should have been tossed, and so we're just back there kind of ruminating.
Bouncing ball, Longoria to second one, on to first, a double play. Second one the Giants have turned behind Bumgarner today. Halfway home in a 1-0 game. Sports Sportsnet LA is brought to Carl's Jr. New Western fries from Carl's Jr. It's like a million Western bacon cheeseburgers dancing on each fry. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Get great deals on the all-new Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Electric during Toyota's Summer Savings Event. High 80s temperatures today in San Francisco. And the Dodgers trying to take the series from the Giants. They lead at 1-0 and a Max Muncy homer behind 4 shutout innings from Walker Buehler. They'll face 8-9-1 in the Giants order. Steven Duggar to lead it off. Buehler coming off 8 full innings against Arizona on Monday, which matched a career high, and he's been efficient so far. That's just his 55th one today.
He's been perfect with his breaking balls. 9 for 9 with the sliders for strikes. 3 for 3 with the curveballs. But the cutter's been pretty good too. That is a really hard pitch to even think about hitting when he's got 97 up at the letters away, and then he go 93 and cut it in the back door. Meant to throw that one inside, but leaked all the way out. So now, when you're going with this next pitch selection, make it with the reality, not the intent of the last pitch. Which means the fastball inside is still open. If they thought that's a good place to go.
Well, with a slider to the back foot, and he's got his 5th K.
10 for 10 with that pitch now. That's called having secondary stuff, I guess. 10 for 10 with that, and 3 for 3 with your curveball.
Man.
That means anytime he wants to pull the trigger in a fastball count to the hitters, he's real confident he can throw something different.
I mentioned the curveball landing for strikes. Madison Bumgarner got 2 of them his first time up there. Here gets fastball to 96, strike 1. And the curve, 0-2.
Full metal jacket against Bumgarner like he is an everyday 4th hitter.
Tries to lay off the fastball, but can't. Back-to-back Ks to open the 5th.
The El Pollo Loco Street Corn Tostada is here. Soul-satisfying flavor with a hit of chili and lime. El Pollo Loco, feed the flame.
So Buehler twice through the order now. 4 2/3 shutout innings. And when there's been an issue against him, this is typically where it's popped up. Joe Panik facing him for a 3rd time. Takes a fastball up and away, 1-0. Here's the slugging against him. First 2 times through the lineup versus the 3rd time. A little bit outside, ball 2. You'd think, though, with the way that he's mixing in his other pitches a little bit better, as you've touched on throughout the day, that would help those numbers.
It sure would. And I think that it's going to change completely this year. Just like we've seen from the first 4 or 5 starts to what he's done lately over the last 5 or 6. It's changed his whole year. And so his numbers are plummeting in all categories.
In a good way.
Yes.
Pitchers like plummeting. Perfect pitch, 2-2.
And the pattern this year for him is if the top 2 hitters in the opposing lineup don't get hits off of him, nobody else is. His stuff is, if you're the 3rd best hitter all the way down to the 7th best hitter in the lineup or so, you're in trouble.
Strikes out the side in the 5th, and he's getting better and better as this Sunday afternoon rolls on in San Francisco. Ball on Sportsnet brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Strike one on Walker Buehler. This is the disguise we were talking about. You guys put a mustache on him, got some eye black strips and some shades.
I just came up with the idea. I wasn't the makeup artist.
Who was?
Himself. But we did bring him the material and said, hey, if you want to try this might work. Then he was mad at me because I didn't block the camera. I mean, well, if I block the camera, he can't see the game. And that was the purpose of being out there, is to see the game.
Puts you in a tough spot. That was your left arm we were looking at there.
Yeah. Very strong.
I could tell the veins were popping out of it.
I think that was my arm day, and I was just watching from the bench.
Right. Oh, yeah. Great shoulder.
That's an old shoulder, too.
At that point, it was a little bit.
Yeah. What is that, 99? So, yeah, I'm old.
Stop it.
41.
0-2. Backdoor breaking ball gets Buehler.
That's what's hilarious about talking about Madison Bumgarner. He's a year younger. They're talking about trading him than I was when we won the World Series in '88.
Yeah.
And so this guy might pitch till he's 40.
I think a couple things there. First thing is, like we talked about, when guys debut at 20 years old.
Right.
It's always shocking when they've had a decade and you look and they're still in their 20s. And the other thing is the game has just trended much younger. And so 29 on the scale of today's game is older than 29 was back in your prime.
It is older by the way you're evaluated, but I think their bodies can be in just as good a shape. I think that what does get them, the young pitchers, is just the wear and tear on the shoulder and the elbow.
Hernandez takes a ball 1-0.
And so their velocities tend to decline younger age because they've got more workload at a younger age. Well, my velocity declined, the shoulder surgery, 2 years after the championship year. But that was at age, 31, 32 compared to declining and shoulder issues for him at 27.
First shoulder issue, of course, came in the dirt bike accident. Pumps that one in there for strike one. And so he had 6 consecutive years where he made 30 or more starts. And then had the dirt bike accident and an off day in Denver early on in 2017. Only made 17 starts that year. That's a ground ball left side, cut off by Longoria. Running throw, 2 up and 2 down. And then last year, comebacker in spring training off his pitching hand, broke it and missed his first 2 months. And he says in both occasions, each of the last 2 years, came back probably before he was ready. So the velocity wasn't there. We're seeing it tick back up. 93, a couple 94s today.
And if you come back when you're not ready and not really selling out to, but I want to throw the ball this way as far as the proper mechanics, the body starts to recruit different areas and different rhythms to try and produce that velocity and that movement, and it can really get you out of whack. And I think he's finally getting back to where he wants to be as far as the health of the arm and everything, and then the mechanical fixes of finding that rhythm and leverage that he's always had.
Two balls, no strikes on Max Muncy, whose splash hit home run is the difference in this game. It was his 13th this year. It extended his on-base streak to 20 games. He's in the driver's seat here with a 2-0 that misses down and away, ball 3. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Some video game-like numbers on his shot. Can we StatCast the back and forth on the trip around the bases? I wouldn't mind getting a time on that home run trot and seeing where that rings. That's something they do track. 3-1.
Max wasn't backing down. It looked like the hand motions were there. If you're upset, here, come get me. I'm running the bases. Like, come here.
I like when you shoot him away at first.
I'm thinking the timing of it for Mad Bum is I will watch where you hit the ball, and then I will turn back and see you. And if you're still in the box or near the box, that triggers my anger. But if you're running and maybe did the 45-foot line down the first baseline, good. In my eyes, you were a little bit more professional and not celebratory. It's fun to even talk about.
First walk of the game issued by Bumgarner. Keep seeing it alive for Turner. Madison Bumgarner has had a huge hand in this era of this great rivalry. Strike one on Justin Turner. Could be the last time the Dodgers see him in a Giants uniform. It almost certainly will be the last time they see him in a Giants uniform here in San Francisco. But in a rivalry that goes back to 1890, you can pick out the different faces and the different eras. His face is that of this one. And it's 0-2 on Turner. Turner hits it foul and it stays at 0-2. All right, so our wonderful production crew has dug up that Max Muncy's home run trot was 27 seconds. The league average is 22.
Well, I think Bumgarner actually slowed his trot down, because when he gets the reaction, that's when he's slow and looking at him.
Yeah.
And you are going to back off your speed. If Matt Bum wouldn't have said anything, I think Max would have been running a little bit faster.
2 gone, sixth inning, 0-2 to Turner. Lifted in the air to center field. Duggar back with plenty of room. To the bottom of the sixth. The narrowest of margins with the Dodgers up 1-0. There's Bobby and Orr trying to protect him to no avail.
Buehler and the Dodgers look to keep right here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Time now for the T-Mobile connection to the game. After this one, the team heads home for 10 days, kind of. They have 2 games against the Anaheim Angels. Tomorrow, it's going to be Hyunjin Ryu on the hill for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be Kenta Maeda against Felix Pena, guys.
All right, Alana, and a local guy in Griffin Canyon went to Santa Margarita High School. 2, 3, and 4 for the Giants against Buehler here in the sixth. Mike Yastrzemski, who's 0-2 today. That's a ground ball towards the middle. Backhand play, Hernandez, but Yastrzemski beats it out with a throw-off line. And the leadoff man aboard in the sixth.
It's a great attempt from Kike. Getting there, being off balance, and then knowing how quickly he has to release it. It's about a 4 or 5 hopper, so that by the time he retreats up the middle, backhands this, slides, and gets to his feet, he knows he has to rush.
And Yastrzemski, fast runner. 4th hit today for San Francisco. Up comes Longoria. Here comes Buehler. Down the line to right, base hit. Bellinger over to get it. Longoria hangs on with a long single, and the Giants have him cornered with nobody out.
Walker Buehler's got the stuff to get out of this. 2 kind of scratch hits. This one in the air, the last one on the ground. But the main challenge now for Walker is to get in the dugout with a 1-1 tie. If the Giants are his ability, bring him to a place where he can get out of this and rescue the runner at third, that'd be great. But don't pitch in a way that all of a sudden you could be down when you get in the dugout.
Heart of the order now, Pablo Sandoval. Ball 1. They play with a middle infield back, so thinking along the same lines you are, willing to allow that tying run to come in if they can turn 2.
How does that affect his pitch selection? It really affects it by do not try for a strikeout until you get the 2 strikes.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Pitch for routine outs. Or once you get to the 1-2 count or the 0-2 count, go ahead and go for the strikeout. You get to the 2-2 or 3-2 count, still look for the routine out.
Gets ahead of him 1 and 2. Nothing cute about that. Just 97 Sandoval late.
I think he's got 1 bullet to move to the edge or look for a chase right here. You don't want to go to 3-2. You're in the 1-2 count. Use this pitch to put them away.
What a pick by Justin Turner! Yastrzemski is out #1, and the Dodgers remain in front 1-0. Game saver for the time being from Justin Turner.
It is the hot corner. And boy, getting on top of this high fastball, a line drive at your feet, and just a quick pick. And once he captures that ball, there is going to be an out recorded. There's a Stanley Cup game tonight. Justin Turner might be called to get there to be the goalie.
Glove save and a beauty.
Wow.
And so now, runners at first and second. One gone. And an opportunity here to get out of the inning with a ground ball. Stephen Vogt. That's foul.
It's one of the hardest hit fielder's choices you'll ever score.
One of the most exciting fielder's choices you'll ever watch.
Wow.
Given the context of a 1-0 game.
The emotions of a Dodger-Giant rivalry.
Right now it's Longoria at second and Sandoval at first. Stephen Vogt pops it foul, and it's 0-2.
Walker right now is almost throwing too many strikes. You know, they get the little scratch hit on the ground ball. Longoria picks on the very first pitch. He gets ahead of Sandoval. He comes back with kind of what he thinks is his high fastball chase, but you got a guy who's really aggressive. He barrels it. And now 0-2 here. Trust Austin Barnes to block one. Almost got it there. Probably is in the dirt if it gets by.
Facing a really good hitter here. Stephen Vogt, a two-time All-Star. Across the bay in Oakland. He's dealt with injuries. He missed all of last season following shoulder surgery. Signed a minor league deal with the Giants this spring, and he came up with Buster Posey's injuries. 2 on, 1 out. Here's an 0-2 pitch. Lifted to left, right at Kyle Garlick. 2 gone here in the 6th.
The frustration continues for San Francisco with runners in scoring position.
0 for 6 today. 1 for 17 over the last 2 days. And it'll be up to Kevin Pillar. Poor Bruce Bochy this year.
I feel so bad for him. He deserves a better fate as far as in his last year of managing. He will be in the Hall of Fame someday. He has brought championship after championship here to the Giants, and it's a long year for the big guy.
2 on, 2 out. Kevin Pillar hits one off the end of the bat to center. Taylor came on at first, now goes back. And Walker Buehler, with a little bit of help from Justin Turner, pulls a magic act in the 6th to stay ahead 1-0. It's Muncy's home run, the only scoring in this game. On to the 7th. Joe Orel and Alana and Cody Bellinger leading off this inning against Madison Bumgarner. Fouls the first pitch off. It's been quite a pitcher's duel between Bumgarner and Buehler.
If it stays this way, I got co-players of the game. I got Muncy, Buehler, and Turner.
Oh, wow. They each get a third of a Lexus.
Yeah. Oh. Or just the bumper, the engine, and the bumper.
Right.
Yeah. Third of the Lexus. That's not true. They don't get cars.
They get a third.
How far are you going to take this?
That's it.
Okay.
Done. Bellinger 0 for 2 today. 2 for 16 on the trip. A ball and 2 strikes. Evens up at 2-2. Bumgarner had 80 pitches. He's not been going particularly deep into games. An opportunity to go very deep into this one. One nothing in the seventh. Bellinger leading it off and striking out on a high fastball.
Dodger fans, do you know a standout high school senior athlete? Then nominate them for a chance to be named a Spectrum Sports Championship Drive Scholar Athlete presented by Shakey's Pizza. Nominees may receive up to a $2,500 college scholarship. Go to SpectrumChamp.com now for more information.
Taylor 0 for 2 today, and now 1 for 20 against Bumgarner with 10 Ks. That's a little bit inside, and ball 1. Lifted to right center field. Pillar's there. 2 up, 2 down. Well, the Giants love this for a lot more than just today. Every time Madison Bumgarner puts together a start like this, it elevates his already pretty impressive trade value. Especially in a market where there's not going to be a ton in the way of starting pitching. He may be the best guy. With 2 out, it's Seager. Strike 1.
And a guy who can give you a relief appearance in between starts in the playoffs or close for you in the playoffs. Any role, really. He has volunteered for all of them in a Giant uniform when it comes crunch time. Matt Williams was real close to one of the faces of the Dodger-Giant rivalry in my prime. And Matt and I used to play together with Cleveland. And the Indians general manager put our lockers right next to each other on purpose so that we'd immediately get along and immediately then make an impact on the locker room as far as veterans in the clubhouse.
Seager off the end of the bat to left. Yastrzemski. That's 10-pitch 7th for Madison Bumgarner. And we stretch in San Francisco. What a day it's been here in San Francisco for both starting pitchers. Bumgarner for the Giants. Walker Buehler just a little bit better for the Dodgers. 6 shutout innings despite 5 hits and a walk. He's held the Giants to an 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And here he comes with his first pitch of the 7th. It's ball 1 on Brandon Crawford.
A rare ball and a rare breaking ball on the first pitch.
Only the second one today.
Walker is throwing almost 80% strikes today. He's just filling the strike zone.
Crawford to right. Bellinger makes the catch. Good closing speed, and he looked perfectly healthy there. We had asked the question earlier in the game if something may be bothering him, and he didn't bust it up the line in a double play ground out. Good explosion there.
Only a couple of hits on the road trip, but he can impact the game in so many different ways. And right here, he does it with his speed and his glove. Walker Buehler has pitched brilliantly, but the Dodger defense has been there for him.
One away in the 7th. Here's Steven Duggar. Fastball for strike 1. Well, the way Buehler's trending, he's going to be part of the all-star conversation.
He picked up a lot of wins early on when his ERA was a little higher than anybody would like it, including him. but in picking the wins up, the ERA he can bring down, and now the wins all of a sudden are up in there in the echelon of the top 10 in the league, and all of a sudden the ERA is very, I don't know if it's all-star-esque, but they might look at the way he's throwing the ball and say, I want him on the team, especially with Dave Roberts managing it.
Trying to go to 7-1 today. Pitcher's spot next, and even though Madison Bumgarner still has plenty of pitches you'd think left in the tank, it's Tyler Austin in the on-deck circle and Tony Watson warming up. You understand the move from Bruce Bochy's standpoint in a one-run game, but that'll feel like a win for the Dodgers. With nothing doing against Bumgarner today with the exception of Muncy's homer. A 1-2 pitch.
I took a glance at Walker's ERA now with these innings and these zeros. He's down to a 3.38. So by the time they pick the pitching staff, if he has a couple more good outings, he could be under 3.
And just the optics of the 2 to start that number. Yeah. He gets strikeout number 8 this afternoon. 2 away in the 7th.
It could be a 2.98 with 9 wins. All of a sudden, that's looking pretty good. Very starish.
Let's get through this one first, though, right?
I think so, yeah. This is going to be one where you want to, I think you say fasten your seatbelt. So yeah. I've been had mine fastened since about the 4th.
That kind of game. These games are the best. Low scoring, dramatic from the start. Some soap opera drama sprinkled in there.
And this is what you get when you get good pitching in a pitcher's ballpark. You know, you get the excitement of a game, but it's every pitch there's something, and you don't want to take time to go to the men's room or the ladies' room. You don't want to take time to go to the concession stand. You want to make sure if you're in line at the concession stand, you can see the monitor and make sure you don't miss anything, because the whole game could change on one pitch.
Yeah. Pedro Baez warming. Walker Buehler's spot due up 3rd in the 8th.
It's a little different than the 8-7 game that brings a lot of excitement also.
A lot of twists and turns in that, as opposed to a game like this where the next pitch could be the pitch.
Exactly.
From the Dodgers' perspective, they hope that's not literal in this case, as Austin comes up. Powerful hitter in a 1-0 game. Pinch hitting for Madison Bumgarner. The fastball is a little bit low, and it's 1-0. So the final line for Bumgarner, just the 1 run and the Muncy homer. A strike, 1-1.
Down 1-0, and pinch hitting for a pitcher that could hit you a home run too.
That's true.
He's got some pop, and he's already seen him twice.
Breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Bumgarner just 86 pitches too.
We've seen this from Walker in his last outing. When he gets to the end of the game, he smells the finish line. If he wants to step on somebody's neck to win the game, he can pull the trigger on that breaking ball.
Goes to a slider that misses outside, and it's 2-2.
He's established the heater so well in the last 2 outings that when he does pull the trigger on the off-speed pitches, it is really hard to hit him.
Walker Buehler trying to finish off 7 shutout innings. He does! Getting a swing and a miss from Austin for his 9th K.
Former Dodgers fan James Loney makes his return to Chavez Ravine and puts on a vintage performance during the Dodgers alumni game. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Here's Tony Watson. Give up the home run to Chris Taylor on Friday night. He's having a really good season for San Francisco and delivers to Kyle Garlick, strike 1. There's Walker Buehler. I believe that is Chris Jimenez talking with him, game planning coordinator. So 91 pitches, but Walker's spot due up 3rd in this inning. You were talking during the break. The decision has, if they do indeed pull him, has a lot to do with the context of the standings and the stage of the calendar.
Yeah, I think so. I think if it's a one-game lead in the National League West and it's late August, I think Walker's going back out there. I think 10-game lead. And here it is, the Giants 1-0. The bullpen's starting to get their act together. I think this is more about thinking about long-term than just today.
On a 2-1 pitch, Garlick lifts it foul, and it's 2-2. Tony Watson is another guy who could be a really nice trade chip for the Giants.
Could there be a reunion? Could he be back in Dodger blue?
Could be a fit. Garlick goes around, one away.
You can win a Range Rover Velar this Sunday. Good times.
Now Walker taking his normal seat next to Clayton Kershaw. And the birthday boy Joe Kelly. Strike on Barnes.
It's different here in San Francisco because the relievers are in the dugout and then they trot down to the bullpen, so you get a different feel and look of conversations during the game.
A little bit outside, 1-1. We go down to Alana.
Had a conversation earlier with the birthday boy, Joe Kelly, who turns 31 years old today. I said, yesterday you had an inning, you struck out the side. He said, you know what, I felt a lot better yesterday. I said, what has worked for you over the last couple of outings? He said, being on the exact same team with not only Rick Honeycutt, but Mark Pryor, and also the catching staff. He goes, I realize mechanically I'm still not exactly where I want to be, but I'm not necessarily only relying on my fastball. He said, I'm about 97 right now. I'm not throwing 100, but he has 2 breaking balls that he know that he can throw for strikes. He has more conviction in those right now until the fastball is where he wants it to be.
Yeah, and it was mostly that off-speed stuff in yesterday's outing. 2-2 on Barnes.
There is definitely a comfort factor in performance, and especially in the bullpen when you start out poorly. If you have a depth in the relationships in the organization over 3-4 years and you start off a little soft, all of a sudden you're like, I'm fine. I got all my buddies still around me. My pitching coach and I have a great relationship. But if you start out cold and it's your first year, in the midst of the culture shock, you're pitching poorly. The thing that actually makes you feel part of the team is when you contribute, and contribute in the way that you're expected to contribute. So I know that Joe Kelly has gone through that, and maybe now he's finally coming out of it, where the relationships are deep enough, the pitching is starting to feel better, and the transition could be over.
Chopper to third. Longoria. Sandoval can't pick it, and Barnes is on here in the 8th.
E5. Sandoval didn't help him over here. He could have used the giveaway coming up at Dodger Stadium, the canvas bag. Might have caught this a little better.
That's the most creative promotion, or
it's coming up.
Promotion of a promotion that I think I've ever heard.
I was pre-reading it, kind of rehearsing in my head, and all of a sudden we've got that play. I was like, he's got to have that. The stretch was a little offline.
And David Freese pinch hitting a strike.
Didn't really help Longoria at all getting that error. That ball was in the vicinity.
You're right. I think it needed the canvas speech back. One ball, one strike on David Freese, trying to continue his monster season. A lot of that has been in a pinch hit role where he's hitting above 400. One of the best hitters in the National League since the Dodgers got him last August 31st. On a 1-1 pitch, Freese laid on a fastball, 1-2.
And you could take a poll around the big leagues. This might be one of the best guys in the locker room, team bus, food room. hotel lobby. Anytime you talk to him, he's the best.
Still 1-2 on him as he pinch hits for Walker Buehler, officially ending Walker's day. So the Dodgers draw it up 7 innings from Buehler, 1 from Baez, maybe 1 or maybe 1+ from Jansen. Barnes at first, 1 gone, and on a 1-2, Freese watches it miss low.
The best late inning offense in the big leagues, looking to find an insurance run.
Looking to find much of anything today. They haven't had a man in scoring position yet. Freese reaches out, and an easy play for Kevin Pillar.
Here we go with the Canvas Beach Bag. The first 40,000 fans in attendance on June 20th will receive a Canvas Beach Bag courtesy of Chef Marito. For tickets and information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. I felt pretty good about that one, Joe.
You would put in the work to...
Yeah, I just rehearsed it in my mind. We had a play that kind of brought me there, and then we got to read it finally.
You'd already been there.
Yep. Practice.
Visualization.
Breathe.
Hernandez 1 for 3 today. One nothing game, 8th inning. Hernandez down the line, foul. 1 for 3 today, 1 for 12 in this series. Dodgers trying to take not just the series, but the lead in the season series. These teams have split the first 8 games. Here comes Tony Watson with an 0-1 pitch. A little bit inside, ball 1 on Kike. It's another tight one. Yesterday was the exception. There have been 4 one-run games out of the first 8. And 6 of the first 8 have been decided by 1 or 2. Ball 2 on Hernandez. Against the veteran Tony Watson out of Iowa originally. He was a 3-sport star in a small town. Drops down, and Hernandez bangs one towards the gap in right center that Pillar will flag down to finish the Dodger 8th. It'll be up to the bullpen in a 1-0 game. Nothing to the bottom of the 8th and to the studio to check in for a preview of the postgame.
On a hot day in the city by the bay, things getting a little heated between Mad Max and Mad Bum today.
Walker Buehler, Dylan, and John. Don't look at me.
I don't want to with that stuff that's growing on your face. We'll see you guys right here after the game.
That is a new look for Jerry Harrison Jr. New look for the Giants on the mound. They've got to be happy to have anybody but Walker Buehler. And one day after the Dodger bullpen fires 4 shutout innings, they hand the ball to Pedro Baez here for the 8th.
Well, Pedro's going to throw more than the heat, but they're going to get the same kind of heat that they got from Walker Buehler with a pitch mix with a changeup and a slider.
Top of the order, Panik, Yastrzemski, Longoria. Fastball for strike 1. Panik 1 for 3. Open the game with a double. Giants actually out hitting the Dodgers in this game 5-4. But another day where they're struggling with runners in scoring position. And to this point, it's doomed them. Baez falls behind 2-1. Last pitched on Wednesday in Arizona and gave up a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Trying to make amends for that here. That's down the line, foul, and it's 2-2. Will Smith. Foul in that same direction.
For Pedro Baez, this is one of the rare starters that he will come into a game and be throwing not as hard as. Walker Buehler about 1.2 miles an hour harder than Pedro as far as average fastball. Pedro around 95.5. Walker a little higher than that. One reliever can come in throwing harder than Walker. Joe Kelly.
Yeah. Full count on Joe Panik.
First batter effectiveness. Staying away from hitters' counts. That's the key to the bullpen success. Big pitch right here.
Fly ball center field, Chris Taylor, and he's able to get the leadoff man for the first out of the 8th.
You breathe a little easier. Advancing runners 90 feet and giving up outs all of a sudden is not part of the equation. The Giants will have to get hits to score.
Yastrzemski. Boy, with no Brandon Belt today, no Buster Posey because he's on the injured list. It's a different feel to this lineup that has already struggled this season. Only the Marlins have scored fewer runs per game than San Francisco. And now in 26 innings in this series, San Francisco's managed a total of 4. Baez home of the 1-0. That's a little bit high, ball 2.
I like fastball away here. Keep the ball away from right field.
That was a fastball, and it was fouled. It's 2-1.
It's the part of the park that really feels reachable for the home run. Not only Muncy, who crushed his, but just the way this ballpark is playing right now. Center field feels like a severe dead zone. And the opposite field for any hitter is less power, even if it's a guy who can go to all directions. And so staying away from a pitch selection where you think a left-handed hitter can pull it right here, I think that's the right pitch.
He did, but Yastrzemski did well to take it, and it's 3-1.
Pedro threw him a changeup very first pitch, and I'm glad it kind of ran off the plate, because at 87 miles an hour, if it's near the middle or makes a mistake inside, that's a tough one. This is the same kind of pitch. A changeup, you better make a good one.
It was, and it was.
Yep, outside, low and away with good action. And that's a huge change of speeds for the Giants, because you had Walker Buehler, who really was predominantly fastball. And then you bring in Pedro, and hitters can tell 1 mile an hour different as far as average fastball, but it's still firm, and you're kind of starting at the same time to get the timing. So when you have that great arm speed and changeup movement, got him out front.
And now a 3-2 came in. Yastrzemski popped it back and out of play, and we'll do it again. Yastrzemski, 1 home run over his first few weeks in the majors. Batting with the bases empty. 1 away here in the 8th in a 1-0 game, where the lone run came back in the first on a Max Muncy solo shot. Second full count. Another 3-2 pitch. And another foul ball.
Pitch count at 14 already. Only has 1 out, a 3-2 count here, but he's filling up the strike zone. They're just fouling the ball off.
Next pitch would be number 8 from Pedro Baez. After Yastrzemski, it's Evan Longoria. Another 3-2. Hop down the left field line. Garlick and Seager over into the bullpen and out of play.
Dangerous over there for left fielders and shortstops and third baseman. You got the tarp and you got the bullpen mound that Chris Taylor bit the dust on. A lot to think about when you're getting over there. Corey with the glance to see where he was at, see where the tarp was at. If he wasn't shifted over, you might get a chance to see something really athletic where he jumps up with 1 foot on top of the tarp, reaches in, catches it, and jumps back.
A little Derek Jeter-like, moving over from short.
He just had so far to go.
9th pitch. Fly to right center field. Bellinger and Taylor back. He's got it over the shoulder on the base of the warning track. And another one dies at Oracle Park.
Who knows? Next year, that could be in the Giant bullpen, and they're raising their arms with a tie game in the Dodger-Giants series. But now, with Bellinger and Taylor's speed, that gap is closed.
So 2 out in the 8th inning, and here's Longoria. Evan, in a down offensive season, still has 7 homers. First one from Baez, a fastball high, it's 1-0. Now both hitters have made Baez work. But he got Panic and Yastrzemski both to fly out, ultimately winning the battles. Falls behind Longoria, 2-0. Pablo Sandoval due next. The 2-0. Off the end of the bat, 2-1. First off-speed pitch that he throws Longoria. Had it off the barrel. No longer just a high 90s fastball. Here it is, trying to hit it, guy. Slider and the changeup. Making him a true 3-pitch guy out of the bullpen, which is rare these days. Here he comes at the 2-1. He goes with a fastball up, and it's ball 3. There's Kenley Jansen beginning to warm.
Usually doesn't need the half inning before to get loose, so this is about if the inning would spiral away from Baez, Kenley would be ready.
That's a 2-out walk.
We might see a visit here to give Kenley some more time in case somebody gets pushed around to the scoring position, that Kenley would have enough time to get ready. Let's see what Rick Honeycutt and Dave Roberts do.
So the tying run aboard, the potential go-ahead run is at the plate, and a guy that throughout his career has had a flair for the dramatic in Pablo Sandoval. Had an opportunity like this late yesterday and popped out. All that stands between Baez and a scoreless 8th inning and a 1-0 game to the 9th. Faced Baez twice. He's got hits both ABs. So here we go. Pedro Baez against Pablo Sandoval. First pitch fastball is fouled back. Pablo Sandoval, one of the best off-speed hitters in baseball this year, but one of the worst against fastballs.
The bullet fielder's choice to Justin Turner, where he rescued the inning for Walker Buehler, was a fastball. Boy, he did a nice job barreling that one up.
Shows bunt and takes the ball. You're up here shaking your head.
I just don't see any reason why he should bunt. Unless he was going to try and bunt for a double.
Baez lets the 1-1 fly. Perfectly placed at 97 for strike 2.
Home plate umpire Will Little, he got it right. The Giants and their frustration today with runners on, trying to get hits. They're going to yell at this one. Pablo's reaction will tell you he wants to scream, but it was right there.
The 25th pitch of this inning from Pedro Baez. A 1-2 to Pablo Sandoval. Here it comes. He struck him out with the high fastball, and Pedro Baez with a scoreless save.
Stay catch on the field with your family. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for that fun night.
Will Smith, who is a perfect 14 for 14 in save opportunities this season, and along with Madison Bumgarner, one of their big trade chips, on to pitch this ninth, trying to keep it 1-0.
Do anything you can to win the series, especially at home against these Dodgers. They accomplished it earlier in the season, but they haven't done it since.
2, 3, and 4. And this man right here is the reason this isn't a scoreless tie going into the ninth. Muncy with a no-doubt home run against Madison Bumgarner into the water in the first inning.
Max started it off with a bang, and it continued on the trot.
He's got a leadoff single here in the ninth. It's only the 5th Dodger hit of the day. It's Muncy's 2nd. And it's lefty-lefty against a lefty killer in Will Smith.
Will Smith, the batting average against for left-handers and right-handers right around 150. And you're right, he's a killer period this year. Nice piece of hitting from Max. One of the strengths of the Dodger team, the left-handers that can hit left-handers.
Turner, 1 for 3 today. Smith coming inside. Turner fouling. Strike 1. So it's back to Southern California after this one. A quick 2-game series with the Angels in Anaheim starting tomorrow night. Ryu against Griffin Canning. Kenta Maeda against Felix Pena in those 2 games. They'll be off Wednesday. Cubs come in for 4 beginning on Thursday. Trying to extend their unbeaten streak in series to 11 today. Trying to move to 37 and 13 over their last 50 games. Muncy taken off. He's out. So Smith picks Muncy off for the first out of the ninth.
Max was guessing they were going on first move. They even have a sign for this, that from the bench they might think, you know what, he's going home this time. Let's just go on first move. And so as soon as Smith lifts his leg, Muncy was gone. And Smith guessed right with him. They might be going.
Now then in 2 on Turner. Looking ahead to the Giants' 9th inning. Vogt, Pilar, and Crawford against Kenley Jansen. We've talked about it through the day, but the Giants are going to look back on this one, if they're unable to get one against Jansen, as another day with missed opportunities. It's been a whole season like that. Oh for 7 with runners in scoring position. The one that'll sting extra was back in the 6th. They had 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and couldn't score.
And it wasn't their exit velocity. It was great play by Justin Turner. Pick a Pablo Sandoval line drive right at his feet. Probably had about 3 feet of hop in it. He picked the right place.
Smith to Turner, 1-2. Able to lay off, ball 2.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Yeah, that's about as solid a check swing as you're going to see.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Justin Turner. It's it foul. We'll do it again. Now these are the games the Giants have won this year. They're 14-5 in 1-run games. That's the best record in the majors in 1-run games. Otherwise, they're 12-32, which is the worst record in the majors. Another 2-2. Turner with another nice take. Count goes full.
Will Smith used to having hitters offer at that pitch, but Justin Turner picking up the spin of that breaking ball a little earlier than most hitters. Committing, but able to disengage in time.
9th pitch. Turner earns the walk. And I mean earns the walk. He's on for the 2nd time today.
Batting average now over 310, and Justin Turner showing it's not only my ability to hit the baseball, it's my ability to draw that walk and not make a pitcher's pitch turn into an out.
One-on-one out with Cody Bellinger. Looking for his first hit of this series. He's 0 for 8. Bunts it foul. Same reaction that you had with Sandoval trying to?
I understand with Cody, because left on left situation, maybe not feeling comfortable so far on this road trip. Only got a couple hits, so maybe a little bit of frustration and a little bit of strategy to try and pull out of the slump by finding a bunt hit. Sandoval's with 2 outs, and that's why I was shaking my head with him.
Yeah. And down a run where you could win the game with a homer.
And a man on first where you need an extra base hit to score him. So Bellinger's attempt is really more of, this might be a way to get a hit.
One on, one out. 1-1. Ball 2. Even with the hitless weekend, Bellinger's continued to rack up the walks, thanks in large part to the intentional passes. Those go towards the on-base percentage as well, which is 2nd in the majors, behind only Mike Trout. The Dodgers will see the next 2 days. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Angels are 31 and 34, by the way. 12.5 back in that division. Houston running away with it. Bellinger down on strikes 2 away. Here's Taylor. Goes after the first pitch, and it's gripped foul. At first, Sandoval steps on the bag and retires the side. Fasten those seatbelts in the biggest way. It's a 1-0 game as Kenley Jansen comes out. Kenley Jansen on trying to close out this 1-0 Dodger lead. And since the blown save in San Diego at the beginning of May, he's been nearly perfect in these situations.
3-time All-Star, on track to be a 4-time All-Star. He continues the way he's pitching. Tied for 4th in the majors with 18 saves. Looking for number 19.
He'll face Vogt, Pilar, and Crawford. And the biggest issue, as Kenley was struggling some early on, was the home run ball. That's what he's avoided in this most recent stretch. Powerful hitter in Stephen Vogt leading it off. Jansen delivers the first pitch of the 9th. Vogt swings at it and fouls it off, 0-1.
This run that Kenley's on has really been a combination of things. I think he's smoothed out some mechanical issues. The cutter is consistently cutting. Velocity a tick up. And then maybe just a little bit different pitch mix.
We've seen the slider more. We've seen a 2-seam from Jansen. You see the slider is early in an appearance, I think, as we've seen all year on the second pitch.
The great thing about his slider is he rarely throws it, but he rarely throws a bad one. So it's easy pitch for him to bring into the arsenal and have confidence in.
The 0-2. Got him swinging. 94. 1 gone.
And I think when he goes rears back and you start to see 94 and 95 miles an hour, I don't think he's really trying to cut the ball as much as he's trying to throw it firmly. And if the natural cut action takes over, that's fine. But I think some of those he's humping up on and saying this one's about velo and up in the strike zone.
1-0 9th inning. Bases empty, 1 gone. Kevin Pilar. Jansen hesitates and comes home and gets strike 1. And an 0-1. Pilar pops it up. Right side. Muncy and Barnes over. Out of play in strike 2.
See what he goes with here. Does he go to the slider? Does he go to the cutter, priority cut? Or does he go to the cutter, priority velocity?
And just the fact that we're asking that question, the hitter has to as well. Going up. And missing with a fastball, 1-2.
He had 5 pitches and 5 strikes. I was on the edge of my seat. Where we're going to see something really special other than a save.
Kenley has an immaculate inning under his belt in his career. Be happy to settle for a save. The 1-2 pitch. Softly hit, short center, easy play, Kike Hernandez. Second slider we've seen him toss out of the first 7 pitches. And it's up to Brandon Crawford. Who's faced Kenley Jansen 10 times in his career and struck out 10 times. Said 10. He's faced him 20 times, struck out 10. Here comes Jansen. Strike 1. 7 innings from Walker Buehler. 1 inning from Pedro Baez. 1 swing from Max Muncy. First inning home run against Madison Bumgarner. And now Jansen an out away from making that stand. Strike 2 as the bottom falls out of it.
This might be the most sliders he's ever thrown in an inning to record a save. We have 4 now.
At least as far as percentage of pitches thrown, I think no question. They're set. The 0-2. Grounded foul. The 5th slider. Half of the pitches he's thrown.
Two in the strikeout, 1 to get the pop up, and 2 here.
Threw it again, and Crawford took it this time. 1-2. Who is this guy?
I don't know, but I'm a little worried about him. He's becoming a breaking ball pitcher.
Giants down to their last strike. Jansen to Crawford, 1-2. 2-seam, ball 2.
That is really against the grain, you calling out 2-seam. But it did have that tailing action.
It's like he mixed in a cutter now, and he's going to have him fooled.
Exactly.
2-2 on Brandon Crawford. That does it as Barnes squeezes strike 3. The Dodgers won. The Giants nothing. Muncy's home run proves to be the difference. Buehler to Baez to Jansen.
It's a great game. Win another series. Even sweeter on the road. Even sweeter here in San Francisco.
Instead of picking a player, let's pick a play of the game, brought to you by Lexus. Muncy's splash hit home run, the only offense in the game. The only offense the Dodgers needed. They're now 37-13 in their last 50 games. And by 7 games, have the best record in the National League. For Earl Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from San Francisco. Will the Dodgers keep their unbeaten streak in series rolling? 11 consecutive series now, back to the beginning of May. Now it's back to Southern California, 2 with the Angels in Anaheim. And they welcome in the Cubs on Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.